My adventures at E3 2016 were made possible by NVIDIA Australia and New Zealand. Hello again, I am Blunty at E3 2016. Right now, I'm at the Immerex booth because they have a product called the Immerex Cinema, which is kind of VR, but kind of not. It's actually a little pair of goggles, very small goggles by comparison. It's got full head tracking and everything, but it has its own little dedicated media box to run off. So I'm going to go slap one on my head, tell you what I thought about it. The Immerex Cinema isn't made to compete with the likes of the HTC Vive, the Oculus Rift and OSVR, which are all heavily game and immersive experience-focused systems. Instead, this head-mounted display is made for a much broader range of viewing experiences, for a much broader audience. As you can see, it's a much smaller and lighter unit than the other HMDs, and it looks much more like a pair of glasses in its design. And this alone starts making it less intimidating and feel more accessible to a broader audience than the whole head-clasping units like the Vive. I mean, if you hand one of these to someone unfamiliar with VR, say grandma, they'll instantly understand how it's worn and what it's for. Now, it doesn't rely on a PC connection or clipping in your smartphone or whatever. Instead, it has a small media box connected to the lightweight eyepiece, and it powers a variety of VR experiences via Immerex's own SDK. Although you can also connect your smartphone to it over Bluetooth. It has full head tracking, so it can support true immersive VR content, but it's also been designed to be kind of Hollywood friendly for conventional 2D and in particular 3D films. And I'm told the Hollywood types are pretty enthusiastic about getting on board. I mean, they're already making all the 3D films and stuff, but the uptake of 3D TVs has been much slower than they'd have liked, so a small, easy, hopefully affordable personal viewer like this can be another avenue for them to sell 3D content, and for you to properly enjoy it. And by the way, if you've never experienced a 3D film in a head-mounted display that uses two separate screens, it is a much better experience than viewing it through, those 3D glasses and whatnot. Just FYI. Now, final specs, price and even release date have yet to be fully nailed down, but I was told to expect a worldwide release before the year is out. Now, as for the actual experience of wearing the thing, well, the prototype honestly could have been a bit more comfortable for my big fat head, but it did sit well on my face. The image was nice and vivid, the lenses seemed quite good, giving a crisp, clear picture. The field of view could have been slightly larger for my taste, but it wasn't bad. And at least on the prototype I was wearing, I suspect the display was twin 720p panels, but quite good ones. The low persistence and highly vivid colours were very pleasing, but I do obviously hope that the final product is at least full HD 1080p. And the head tracking for the fully 360 surround images I was being fed was nice and smooth. There was a small amount of lag, nothing severe, but it was noticeable. But again, this isn't the final retail radio product, so I'm not going to ping them too hard for that. And it did track nicely. There was no jitter, no excessive motion blurring or any of that kind of stuff. All in all, it was a pretty good experience. I feel like the approach and intent and design all strike a really nice balance, and there's certainly room in the burgeoning VR market for something like this. Small, easy to use, accessible to even those unfamiliar or uninterested in the big boy gaming focused VR platforms like the HTC Vive. And with the growing wave of things like personal 360 cameras, passive VR experiences, and even a small industry of VR film starting up, and of course 3D movies and streaming video in just a regular sort of personal cinema type thing, I'm certainly interested in this device is what I'm saying. Something small, self-contained, lightweight, easy to travel with and unobtrusive to have on your face. Easy to wear while lounging on the couch or in bed, or, and this is the thing that came immediately to mind, facing a 16-hour-long flight home after E3, something easy to wear on a plane for a nice private personal cinema and 3D movie watching experience, maybe even some light VR gaming. Although obviously seated on a plane, a full surround 360 view experience is a little harder to use. But anyway, so long as Immerex don't try too aggressively to lock content behind their own shopfront or ecosystem or whatever, so viewing any media I want to is as easy as it should be, I can see this being quite a successful product. I'll certainly be keeping my eye on it anyway. So there you go, that was the Immerex Cinema. What did you think about it? Something you'd like to buy? But that is it from me at the Immerex booth. Thanks for watching. I am Blunty. We'll catch you next time for much more E3 content and a hell of a lot more VR stuff.